Greetings and salutations, and welcome once again to the Capeless Crusaders live at the time from the Safe House. My name is David Barrie at Dr. Barrie on varying social media platforms. I am joined this evening. By no one. I am writing solo, not talking about Solo though, because I haven't seen it yet, but I am not joined by the Azorian one, Anthony Esteves. I am not joined by Amy Nunag at IJNU Robot, Manderson at Son of Mander, Tom at Tall Dark, Not Ugly on Everything, and Curtis Fisher, what's his new one, Skipintosh, Existential Romeo. We just call him Legion, because he is mini. Anyway, I am the only representative of the Capeless Crusaders here this evening. First off, happy Memorial Day for some people. It is a celebration for other people. It is a day of remembrance. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the time with your family, the time to remember. Hopefully it was not too difficult of a time. I could understand how it would be. But thank you for joining us this evening. Us. I'm going to keep saying us. I'm going to keep referring to like we. It's just me here. But we are the Capeless Crusaders, and you can find us at thecapelesscrusaders.com. That is your number one hub for anything comic book related. When it comes to the Crusaders, we like to talk comics. We do live streams. We do podcasts. We do, what else do we do? We do articles. We do blogs. We do reviews. Manderson's going to have a review of the last season of Flash up there, hopefully soon as someone edits it. That's me. I haven't edited it yet. But once we do that, we will get that up there as well. So, normally we would introduce everyone. There's no one to introduce except for myself, so we'll get right into it. So when we are in the safe house, when I'm in the safe house, when I'm looking at the comic book art, when I'm looking at the comic books on the wall, when I'm looking at the picture of Stan the Manly, who knows what's going on with his social media right now, when I look at the action figures, there's one thing I like to do, and that is I like to go round the horn. Finally, they came out with an update for this stupid thing, so now I don't have to push the button a dozen times. Anyway, when you go around the horn, we go around the table in a circular fashion, except for the fact that we no longer have a circular table, and it is literally me by myself. We don't have any table to go around. But we talk about what comic books we've been reading this week. I read a lot. I caught up on a ton of comics this week, mainly all my Marvel stuff. Right off the bat, I am current now on Doctor Strange. If you are in any way, shape, or form, a fan of Doctor Strange, you will have loved everything in the last 2 years. If you are not a fan of Doctor Strange, I highly recommend you check out what has happened in the last, I think it's 2 years at this point the run has been going. It's been really good. It all focused on everything was groovy in Doctor Strange's life, then everything wasn't so groovy. Magic was under attack by this science-based race from another dimension. Magic was destroyed. He had to bring magic back. He's fighting with himself, with Wong, with everyone around him. And most recently, he resurrected the city of Las Vegas. Because during the Secret Empire storyline, Las Vegas was destroyed. So he said, you know what? I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to bring back Vegas. And what happens when you bring back the, Sin City, the city of sin from where it was? Hell. Well, it brings the devil back with it. Not exactly the devil, but Mephisto, of course, the basically devil of the Marvel Universe, came back with it and decided, you know what, I'm going to damn all of the souls in Las Vegas, and I'm going to turn it into a giant hell casino where all my demons run free betting on souls, and it was really well done, really interesting storyline. You should definitely check it out. Just wrapped up. It is now going into a new arc written by Mark Waid. Mark Waid, who has done an amazing job Captain America, amazing job at Daredevil. Really looking forward to him taking over Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is in space with him, I guess. That's the thing that's going to be happening, which I'm all for it. Sounds weird, but everyone's going to space recently, so I'm totally down with it. The other thing that I read, now this one might be kind of a difficult one to explain. So I'm sure at this point we all know what S.H.I.E.L.D. is. If you watched any of the Marvel movies, watched the TV show, read any comics, S.H.I.E.L.D. is, of course, a secret, covert, sometimes covert, spy organization that makes it their job to defend everyone. Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury's son, who looks strikingly like Samuel L. Jackson. S.H.I.E.L.D. has been around for a really long time, ever since Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created it back in the 60s. And it was this idea that it existed post-World War II to combat Hydra and other evil organizations, communists, those things. But about maybe 7, 8 years ago, a young writer by the name of Jonathan Hickman, who you should know that name by now if you listen to the show. Jonathan Hickman, of course, East of West, The Manhattan Project, some of the greatest books that we read. Jonathan Hickman he's our boy. We love Jonathan Hickman. So he wrote a book called S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, it was the secret origin of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a way. So what he actually did was he told a story about the S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't just start after World War II. S.H.I.E.L.D. actually started in ancient Egypt. And it was created by an individual named Imhotep. And Imhotep fought the Brood. So again, if you know Marvel, the Brood is an alien race that lands on planets, very Zerg-like if you're into StarCraft. And they just take over an entire planet by breeding, and absorbing everyone into their brood. So the Brood landed in Egypt. They were fought back, pushed away by Imhotep, and he used a spear and a shield. And so he created this organization called the S.H.I.E.L.D. And so the idea behind the S.H.I.E.L.D. was it would protect the world, and then the spear was the other organization. The spear would be the other side. So the spear was in the east, the shield was in the west, and Jonathan Hickman tells this great story about how S.H.I.E.L.D. got started. It wasn't actually, like I said, it wasn't Nick Fury, it wasn't Howard Stark. They were in there down the line, but what it started with was guys like Imhotep, guys like Leonardo da Vinci, guys like Galileo, guys like Michelangelo, not the Ninja Turtles, the actual architects and artists. And they were all involved in S.H.I.E.L.D. from the get-go. So they created this secret city underneath Rome because they always put stuff in or around Rome because I guess that's what you do. They brought in all of these, they bring in all these great thinkers, and they would, kind of an Illuminati style, they would change the way the world went, either by progressing it or fighting for it or defeating, villains from other dimensions, from outer space. And what we've come to find out is the current leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. is Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, and he is very much a pessimist. He sees that the human race has a finite destiny. It is going to end, and he wants to make sure we get there in the appropriate time. On the other side, there's Leonardo da Vinci, who says, no, we are masters of our destiny. We can take our destiny by the reins, and we can guide it wherever we need to. So they basically form two different sides within the S.H.I.E.L.D. And there's a new character, this a man named Leonid, who he is, he's the boy with stars in his skin, because every time he's sitting in shadow, you just see stars. And he basically is a force to move the S.H.I.E.L.D. into its next iteration. He comes to find that out from another Michelangelo. This story is so in-depth. It's so intense. It is so well done. But it ended. It never was actually completed. Jonathan Hickman stopped. He left Marvel, and it was left on a cliffhanger. And in that time, we met, like I said, we met Da Vinci, we met Nikola Tesla, we met all of these different great minds who were all a part of this organization. Howard Stark and I'm blanking on his name. Nathaniel Richards. So Reed Richards' dad. So they're all part of this organization, and then Jonathan Hickman left. So I don't know how they got him back. I don't know if it was like a contract thing or probably was a money thing, but they got him back to now complete that story because those characters are going to be involved in the main Marvel storyline that we've got going on right now. And so we found that because in the other thing I read was Iron Man 600. And in Iron Man 600, it's the last story written by Brian Michael Bendis. At the end, they find that Da Vinci has actually been pulling the strings, kind of trying to organize, get some people together. And so we now see that the S.H.I.E.L.D. story that was written by Jonathan Hickman needs to be concluded because we need to figure out why Da Vinci's there, what he's doing, what happened to the S.H.I.E.L.D., so on and so forth. So if you're looking for a very out there comic, but extremely well done, nothing like what you've seen before, check out Shield. Shield is it's super well done. Like I said, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, those are all cool, but Shield is a great book. Now's the perfect time to jump back on because it's now back. So you should check that out. It is written by Jonathan Hickman. The first volume is already available. The second volume is in its 5th issue, I believe. Highly, highly recommend all of those books. So there is no one here to join me to do their Round the Horn. So you can always have your own Round the Horn at home. You could say, hey, what comics have we been reading? And then tell me if you want to. In the chat room, there's a chat room open to communicate in. You can throw some bits our way. You can subscribe to us. Ignore the baby. My baby is learning how to be very vocal. It's adorable. She's fine. She's just making a lot of sound. So I'm going to hop right in because on this Memorial Day, everyone was super busy. Everyone... family, work, other obligations, which I have no problem with whatsoever. But I've got nobody here, so the only thing that I can think to do is to play some video games, because that's the only thing I can think of. So we're gonna play some video games. Oh God, we're gonna. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. All right, we're going to be playing The Punisher on the Super Nintendo. So come along with me, if you will. And we're going to just hop right in. Oh, look at that sweet bass. All right, here we go. Oh, you can play Punisher and Nick Fury? I can't play. I wanted to play Nick Fury. I can't. Back to the War. So this is going to be hilarious after the fact for any of you audio podcast listeners, when you just hear all these awkward sounds of Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, beating up a bunch of hooligans. How do I move? What's happening? Oh, I got pizza. Apparently it's Ninja Turtles all over again. Oh, okay. So, in some comic news, because I like to talk about comic news as well, sounds like Zack Snyder is going to be, he's got a project that he's working on. He wants to adapt an Ayn Rand story, Fountainhead, which is just a dumb idea, but I guess Zack Snyder's just, he doesn't have any good ideas anymore after the Justice League fiasco and everything else, so... Do I not get my gun anymore? I had a shootout, and now I can't shoot my gun anymore. That's not very Punisher-like. Oh, but there's a turkey dinner here. Eat that. There we go. Punch this barrel. I'm gonna carry this barrel. Oh, what up, dudes? Oh, this guy's got a baseball bat. Okay, okay. Oh, I realize I need to update this on Twitch so they don't, get mad at me and say, what are you doing? You're not in this. You're playing video games. So let me just switch this to retro real fast. Retro. And away we go. So, like I said, comic news. I don't know what Zack Snyder, what he's really doing, but we'll see. I mean, I know a lot of people right now are focused heavily on, of course, Solo, which, like I said, I have not seen. I did finally check out Deadpool 2, which was, like, this will be my unofficial review because no one else was able to see it in a timely manner except for Amy. So Solo, apparently they're calling it a flop. 150 million is apparently a flop these days. But when your budget is 250 million, I guess. I guess I see that as a flop, that you don't immediately make that back in a week. But it's also because all they're doing is comparing it to Rogue One, Force Awakens. What's the other one?
You son of a bitch.
Oh, hey. But yeah, everyone's comparing it, of course, to the budgets of Force Awakens, of Rogue One. They're even compared to like Infinity War and Deadpool, which it's the summer. It's a hard time to open against anything, and when you're opening against the second weekend of Deadpool 2, and when Infinity War is still rolling towards $2 billion, like it's a rough time to open up against any of those. And I still am interested in seeing Solo. I've heard, not the greatest things about it. But what is happening? Apparently, oh god, these guys have guns. I'm chasing Bruno. My name is Frank Castle, and I'm chasing Bruno. And I'm fighting Scully. Okay. This dude has a battle axe. Who would bring a battle axe to a gunfight on a bus against the Punisher? That guy, apparently. So yeah, so like I said, speaking of Deadpool, saw it, really enjoyed it. Apparently, I just died. I didn't know how to check my life. Really enjoyed Deadpool. Definitely, Manderson, he said he put it on par with the first one. I have to agree. I think it was, as far as sequels go, it was stronger than some have been. The comedy was, of course, a really good point. The story was actually much more emotional than I thought it was going to be. Focusing on his fiance, and spoiler alert, her death. And also Cable, coming back, trying to kill the mutant that killed his family, as opposed to the other stories where Cable comes back to stop, the Sentinels or whatever he's coming back to fight. Oh, that's obnoxious to do that sound over and over. Oh, come on. Are we done yet? Are we... Yeah? Can we move on to the next level? Okay. So Deadpool 2. The comedy was, of course, on par. The emotion was much deeper than I thought it was going to be. I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of the cameos. I didn't realize how many there were going to be. I didn't realize that, they were going to get the other X-Men cast, if even just for a second, to show up and, be hiding from Deadpool because they don't want to, get found out by him and have to deal with his shenanigans. And I was also didn't realize that they were going to bring back none other than Professor X, his stepbrother, aka the Juggernaut. I did not know he was planning on coming back, which I found out after the fact. Ryan Reynolds actually voiced him. So Juggernaut came back. He was much more. I mean, I didn't hate him in his other appearances in the Marvel Universe, the X-Men stories, but this one he looked so comic accurate, it was scary. Like they got him perfect. Which, in order to do that, you have to make him basically 100% CGI, which they did. And it was very entertaining to watch him and Colossus go head to head. Now, the one problem that I had with Deadpool 2, and it had nothing to do with the movie itself, it was the parents that decided bringing their 6 and 8-year-old into the theater was a good idea. I'm not going to tell anybody how to, how to live their life, how to be parents. I'm a brand new parent myself, so I'm more looking for advice than trying to give it. But I would not have my 6 or 7 or 8 or even 10-year-old. I mean, if my kid was 16, okay, then we could talk. Because the violence, while gratuitous, was not necessarily over the top. It wasn't a lot of only a couple nudity and sex-related jokes, and it was mainly the swearing, and, I'd be okay with a 16-year-old hearing that. But the fact that, oh god, I have a gun. I don't have a gun anymore. The fact that, this guy had brought his young kids to this movie was a little, I'm not going to say irresponsible, but I wasn't necessarily a fan of you bringing your kids to see Deadpool 2. Again, not going to tell anybody how to parent, though, even though I'm going to give my unsolicited advice right now like I'm doing. Oh, they have a gun now. That's cool. I feel like Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Help me. Oh, there's just a rat in there. Oh god, that was inappropriate. So overall, I gave Deadpool definitely like 8 out of 10. I thought it was really solid, really enjoyable. Maybe 9 actually, probably a 9 out of 10. As far as sequels go, you know, I liked like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which was heavily, you know, comedy based, but I thought Deadpool 2 did a better job of making the jokes still fresh and the characters still funny. I was Guardians of the Galaxy, like a couple of the jokes felt a little ham-fisted for me, and I felt like I did not feel that way with Deadpool. And definitely the whole introduction of the X-Force, which, similar to the way Infinity War made it seem like the Hulk was going to be a big part, like they kept showing him all the previews, and it turns out he wasn't in there. I loved the way they brought in the X-Force just to basically kill all of them. They just, as they all come landing, you know, from the plane, they all get either blown into electrical lines or blown into wood chippers, or it was pretty gruesome the way they took them out. But I thought that was well done. I also Josh Brolin as Cable. I thought he was perfect for Thanos and he was perfect for Cable. It was two, you know, emotional roles. You know, he makes you might not appreciate the way he does things, but he makes you feel for his side, for his family, for what he wants to do. And obviously, you know, Thanos destroying half the universe, not exactly as easy to understand as Cable coming back in time to stop his family from being murdered. But still, Josh Brolin does an excellent job bringing that side, the emotional side, making you care, you know, making you kind of want to see this guy get his revenge, even though he does it in a gruesome manner. Can I get through here, please, Frank Castle? I don't die so easily. That's my line. Oh God, what is that? Oh, this robot has been programmed by the Kingpin to kill me. And oh, he is. Oh God, he has laser eyes. He killed Bruno. Something tells me I'm not going to survive this. I am just Frank Castle, the Punisher, after all. So yeah, so Deadpool made a lot of good references. Made fun of Rob Liefeld's inability to draw feet, which I thought was fantastic. Continued the mocking of Ryan Reynolds' role as Green Lantern, going so far as to send Deadpool back in time to kill Ryan Reynolds, so he could not accept the role. Fixing the X-Men Origins version of Deadpool by, of course, having Deadpool murder him. It was the good mid-credits. It was a really long mid-credit scene, no post-credit scene, which I thought was interesting. I thought it was fine. I really enjoyed the mid-credit scene because they did so much in that time. You know, he saves his girlfriend, fiance. I apologize. Does all that. So again, with the timer counting down for the points. Gotta love Super Nintendo, man. Yeah. Kingpin. I knew he was. Yeah, we know the Kingpin was behind all this. He always is. I think he's currently the mayor of New York in the comic books, which is interesting. Okay, I don't care about the drug deal. Doom, 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 doom. Whoop! I got a gun again. So yeah, so interesting. After going back to the Iron Man 600 that we checked out again, last Brian Michael Bendis story with Marvel. It was the last thing that he wrote. We get to see the return of Tony Stark. We get to find out who his biological father was. He was actually a Hydra agent, because his mom was a SHIELD agent who was also a rock star. So Howard and blanking on his mom's name, turns out adopted parents. Marvel kind of retconned that. We find out that he's got different biological parents. Tony Stark was also dead for a little while. Dead, of course, being subjective. He was in a coma, and apparently all of the experimentation he'd done on himself meant his body was able to reboot after basically being killed by Captain Marvel. He was able to survive all of that because he had done so much tweaking to his biology. And so his body did a hard reboot, cleared all that out, saved him one time. He's not immortal, but now he's back. He's back in the Iron Man armor. He's resurrected Rhodey. So it's basically just like everything is completely, undone as they do in comics. And Ironheart she's still got her armor. She's now part of a team, being led by Leonardo da Vinci, and we've seen from the previews that she's apparently going to be joining the Champions, the team of teenage superheroes, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, young Nova, young Cyclops from the past who's stuck in our time, weird stuff like that. And so she's going to be joining them and heading into space, and she got a nice armor redo. Looking pretty good. I'm pretty stoked for it. Also glad she's going to be sticking around, because a lot of people were worried with Brian Michael Bendis going to DC that a lot of his characters were not going to be treated well. But it looks like at this point, Marvel, while they are, they brought back Tony Stark as Iron Man full time, Ironheart is not going anywhere. Neither is Miles Morales. And of course, Jessica Jones, also Brian Michael Bendis creation. So they're all sticking around. They've all got current books that they run, either teams or solo, which is good because we don't want to see any of them go anywhere. I carry the knife like a fiend. Oh, there's a creepy gangster car, and out of it comes creepy gangsters with Tommy guns. Oh, I died. I have a pistol against Tommy guns. What is this? What is this? What is this video game? And now I'm against like an army trooper guy? Cool. I'm gonna pick up his gun. How do I pick up guns again? Oh. Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho. So yeah, so we'll see what happens with Riri, out in space. We also apparently have I'm not caught up on it, but I did read a little bit about Amadeus Cho, aka the totally awesome Hulk, who used nanobots to take basically the Hulk persona away from Bruce Banner and let him be normal, even though they got him killed. And use those nanobots to keep his intelligence while simultaneously still being the Hulk, which was, pretty awesome, totally awesome, if you will. Greg Pak was taking that up, was heading that book up. That they took him to Planet Hulk, Sakaar. If you saw Thor Ragnarok, yes, the planet that was based on. And he lost control. He got angry as he does. But apparently he has other nanobots to counter the Hulk nanobots, and now he's like half Hulk. So he's still really tall, really muscular, and green, but he's not massive and hulked out. He's more of just a normal superhero physique. So we'll see what happens there, because we know that Bruce Banner is back as the Immortal Hulk, which looks like a creepy horror story style Hulk. Really looking forward to when that comes out. And then, of course, Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk. She is super... she's got really bad... What do you call it? Basically PTSD from when Thanos almost kills her. So now she's more of a gray Hulk again, and she is not handling it well. Before she would basically be in Hulk form all the time, and she was able to control it and not lose her cool but be super strong. Now it's more of a traditional Hulk story where she can't control it. She's not doing it all the time. She's trying to stay calm, do yoga, all those things the way Bruce Banner had to. But she's now part of the current Avengers team, so we'll see where that goes. I'm interested to see what happens, like I said, to Amadeus, because he is no longer full-blown hulking out. He is baby hulking out. Am I dead again? Nope. I like when I die and I drop in, I do like a cool spin kick move and I just clear everyone out, and I'm like, I am the Punisher. Speaking of the Punisher, a really great story. If you're interested, if you like war stories, the Punisher, the Platoon, which is written by Warren Ellis, who's just one of the greatest comic book writers ever. He wrote a story called Punisher Platoon, which was basically the origin of the Punisher, because as you know, Punisher, Frank Castle fought in the Vietnam War. And so Punisher Platoon focused on him as a young lieutenant in Vietnam with his unit and what he had to do. It follows a guy writing an interview, basically, a story, but kind of like a autobiography or a biography about Frank Castle. So he meets with his unit to talk to them about, how he became the Punisher, his first kill, the things that drove him to do what he did. So they focused heavily on his time in Vietnam, which is it's a really well written book, very very accurate. It was not a superhero story. It wasn't even like a crime fighting story. It was a war story that just so happened to focus on our boy Frank Castle. The artwork was oh god, that's Bonebreaker. Is that a Ravager? No, not a Ravager. What are the can't remember what these guys are called. But yeah, that just wrapped up. It was a 6-issue arc. I'm just getting run over by this guy right now. But it focused, like I said, on Frank Castle, him leading his unit, him being in the Vietnam conflict, the things he did to keep them alive, and they focus a little bit on what actually leads him to become the Punisher, but it's more about him, him and his men and what he did to make sure they all made it home. So it was a very well done book. Just really, especially if you're into like war stories, it's a good one. You should definitely pick it up. It should be out in trade, I believe, sometime soon. Even though it's nothing like this Punisher with his blue suit and his go-go boots getting run over by Bonebreaker. Oh god. Oh, he's got a flamethrower. I didn't know he had a flamethrower. And he's firing missiles out of his back of his vehicle. That's cool. Oh, I'm back. Why am I not punching? Oh, and I'm on fire again. Wow, I'm terrible at this. There we go. Oh, gross. Kicked him right out of there. Oh, now we're going to do the time thing. We're going to do the ding-a-ling-ding-a-ling. Sick. Ooh, a bonus stage. You gotta love bonus stage. What am I doing? Okay. I'm shooting these barrels, apparently. I don't even know what's happening right now. So that's someone that I want to know what's going on currently in the Marvel Universe. I've not read the current Punisher run. He apparently was the War Machine for a short period of time. He got the War Machine armor, and he's flying around fighting dudes. I haven't actually read that story. I also don't know what's going on really currently with Nick Fury. I know he's original Nick Fury, who looks like David Hasselhoff. He's up in space. He's took over the job of the Watcher. It's weird. Read Original Sin if you really want to know more about that. I mean, I could tell you about it. It's weird as all get out. But young Nick Fury, Nick Fury's son, who looks, like I said, strikingly like Samuel L. Jackson, he had a limited series, which I believe was canceled, unfortunately. I thought it was really good as far as spy stories go. I wanted to eat the food. Apparently I can't eat the food. Oh. I don't know what's happening right now. Just throwing dudes around, apparently. I have no idea if I'm actually taking damage. Oh, yes, I am. I'm not looking at the bar. I'm not good at this. Drew in the TARDIS. What is up, my friend? Welcome. How you doing? Oh, God. Oh, God. Let's battle axe. I'm going to try to take these. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, how did he light me on fire? All good, man. Yeah, just me riding solo. Oh, that was actually game over. I thought I was doing better than that. Oh, now what happens? Do I have to restart? I have to start it back over? I think I'm gonna queue up a different game. This one is not the business. I don't know how I feel about the Punisher video game, but there's my review. Not sure how I feel about it. It was okay. I think we might want to. You know what? I think I know what we want to do. Because we're coming up on issue 286, I believe, of my the only comic book I've ever actually collected full time. What if we did a little bit of Spawn? How about Debapples? Todd McFarlane presents Spawn. I've never actually played this game. I've had it sitting here for a really long time. 13th child abducted. That makes sense. 13's a creepy number. Oh, Spawn. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so basic controls, I assume. Ooh, there's a helicopter. Okay, left, right, down, punch, kick, swinging kick, punch, punch, jump. Okay. Oh, that dude's got some reach. Oh, there we go. Twirling diving kick. That's what I need to do. Oh god. Oh god. Those dudes throwing Molotov cocktails. Not cool. Not cool. Oh, apparently I have to kill Molotov cocktails, guys. That's good. This is not going well. I can already see this is not gonna end well for me. There we go. Okay. Can I go on? I can go on now. Oh, that guy's got a gun. Why does Ponytail Guy have a gun? And now he runs away. Get out of here, Ponytail Guy. A random ruffian. There we go. Okay. There we go. How many of these dudes do I have to kill? I'm not very good at this part. Oh, and I'm on fire again. I feel like this part's going to be interesting in the replay, considering... Oh! If you're listening to this on audio, you have no idea what's going on. How do I... There we go. Cool. Level 2. Yeah? Oh, God. Overt kill. Oh, God. How do I gotta jump over him. Okay, apparently he can punch me when I'm in the air. And kill me. That was easy. Let's try that again. Oh. Okay. Oh, God. This is terrible. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me, because then you'll heal. Oh, or he's going to kill me. That's fine, too. Yes, I would like to continue. Oh, and now his health's back. Boo. There we go. That's the secret. Oh, unless I get caught by him. Oh, punches me out of the sky. That works too. How is he blocking this? Well, this was a terrible idea. I never should have started the spawn game. Regardless, I think that's about going to wrap it up for this week's episode anyway. It was a short one. Me riding solo. You know. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for spending part of your Memorial Day with me. Because my name is David Barrie. I represent the Capeless Crusaders. We are a comic book podcast. You can find us at thecapelesscrusaders.com. You got all of our stuff there. You can find me at Dr. Barrie on varying social media platforms. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. Enjoy the rest of your week. We will see you next time for episode 97 for The Capeless Crusaders. Good night.